So a few years back, I think in 2022 or 21, I was in Paris for the Art Basel. It was interesting because you had all the famous artists there. It was like the contemporaries, but as well the kind of the classic modern. You had Picassos and you had Chagalls and everything. So everything expensive and big and the best galleries and so on and so forth. And it was these events to me are I have two opinions on them. And the one is like that I like to see all what's currently going on and what is interesting and seeing some of the originals of like the big masters. But I have this second stream of thought where I feel like that art right now, or much of the art that you see in big collections, it doesn't deal with the big topics anymore of being human, of existence, of us struggling with meaning and all that. And all of a sudden there was this piece by by this um, by this which I didn't know back then. I think she's Belgian, Berlinde De Bruyckere, so something like that is her name. And there was this sculpture out of wax with the wax feet, and it had something over kind of covered body with something. And the title was something that had to do with Archangel, if I recall correctly. But the real thing was it stood out of all the other pieces. You had like, as if it was commenting on all of them in a certain way. But not actually really commenting on them, but being art from a very different perspective for exactly what I just mentioned before, which I think is not happening very often, like this not modern, but this kind of not being smart about the world and we know everything and science and I don't know what, but asking for meaning, kind of raising the point, no, we don't know what all this is about. And it just was refreshing, and I was there, and it was so interesting for me to see the piece on the one hand, but then as well see the people, how they walked around it and seeing next to them and having it on display with all these other, with all the galleries and the booths and the Picassos and the Braques and I don't know what. And it was like a breeze of something intense in a world where everything is a bit commercial, a bit light, a bit over the top with everything. And it felt like to me it made an artistic human comment on the art world as such. But of course that was just because it was placed there. But I feel like that what Berlinde does is she's digging deep into her own self and comes up with these sculptures. And that's just, and I saw now, I looked her up a bit on the internet and I saw that she had apparently I think in some Italian church, and I think it's even sanctioned by the Vatican, if I got that right, where she would put these pieces, and she has more of these, into a church, into churches. And that is just, I cannot tell you what this does to me. It is like, it feels like, I don't understand it. I don't want to pretend that I do, but this is the beauty about strong art. It does something to you that you cannot explain with words. And this is why it's a sculpture and not a poem. Thanks, Berlinde.